Hello everybody, this is Bailey Kleckner here. I am the founder of the Charles F. Chitsey Turtle Conservation Organization, a club started as a result of my senior year capstone project. Today's video is my video for the Civic Seal of Readiness that I will hopefully be receiving. I have put a lot of effort and time into this project. Anyone who knows me personally knows that I am extremely passionate about my topic. What is my topic, you may ask? My topic starts from a question. My question was, are conservation efforts for turtles in New York State effective? I did two products. I did a model of a turtle made of different trash and litter and stuff like that, which I will dive more into later on. And I also made the Charles F. Chitsey Turtle Conservation Organization, CCTCO for short. Being able to make these projects and to show them to the world is extremely important to me because I get to show you all a part of my heritage that I am very proud of. My mother's family comes from the Haudenosaunee, specifically Onondaga Turtle Clan. My uncle, Charles F. Chitsey, also came from the Onondaga Turtle Clan. Now, this club is in my uncle's memory. He passed away in June of 2023. And during a time of loss and grief, I started to learn more about my indigenous heritage, as I had already known about my Scottish and German heritage as well. A common practice for many indigenous communities when a loved one passes away is cutting the hair. My uncle was able to specify that I did not have to cut my hair in honor for him. It was always commonplace and it was something I never really thought about until he made that specification, and he was the first of my loved ones to make that specification. We also began using sage more heavily in the house, and this was because his death was under some very unfortunate circumstances and had bad energy tied. In this time, I had to learn how to connect with the earth to heal. Exactly a week after he passed, my Uncle Chris got me a painted turtle. Cute little baby, size of $50, if that. He breeds painted turtles in an enclosed pond outdoors. Charlie, which was named after my uncle, happened to have some dents on her plastron, which is the undershell of a turtle, and he was worried about her survival compared to her siblings. I was seen as someone who could take her in and take care of her. As it was summer vacation and I was grieving, I needed something to do. Now, I always thought turtles were cool, and I had just started to learn about my indigenous heritage because my mother's family wasn't really open about it for the longest time. But my love of turtles grew in just one night of having Charlie. But I needed to learn more about them in general. I had to do a lot of research before mastering the art of taking care of her. Taking care of turtles is a very advanced skill, and oftentimes you have to have a permit. I have a permit to own Charlie. There are only special exceptions to this when you are a conservationist working for some kind of agency. There was a lot of research I had to do for my capstone project. Part of my research included partnering up with clubs such as the Friends of Hamlin Club. They are a local kind of conservation, kind of maintenance crew of the Hamlin Beach. I also was able to meet Perry Ground, an Onondaga Turtle Clan storyteller, through Friends of Hamlin, who gave me an indigenous perspective on turtles. Some of my specific sources were Turtles of the World book by Jeffrey Lovich and Whit Gibbons, the Department of Conservation of New York site, and the New York Heritage site. I also had to do a lot of research on laws specifically, native versus invasive species, different behavior patterns of different turtle species, along with what kinds of habitats they preferred, and what potential problems are in these habitats as a result of a lack of conservation efforts or a lack of new innovations and new methods for conservation. I would say that I took a lot of action to create change. My first line of action was creating a model of a sea turtle out of a Cheerios box. What was a Cheerio box soon turned into a game of I Spy with my little eye. Everywhere I went, I tried to find something that I could attach on there. There are different types of litter. Most times, you often hear of plastic bottles, packaging peanuts, for example, very mundane examples. I included small toys, loose jewelry, dried pens, markers, missing caps. You name it, it's probably on there. Because everyday actions, everything we do, impacts our environment. And one thing I learned from being Onondaga, being indigenous, and engaging with other indigenous people is that our world is very interconnected, and these guys do so much for us, and we need to try to preserve them. I decided to call this model the trash turtle. I later went on to display it at Holly Central School District so that other people could gain a sense of perspective of what your everyday activities can do. I made an emphasis on everyday items and items that you normally would not think about when it comes to pollution or environmental harm. Not only was the trash turtle displayed at Holly Central School District, it was also posted to the official Charles F. Chidsey Turtle Conservation Organization social medias, which are at CCTCO organization. You can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. The second product of the capstone was meant to be more focused on taking informative action, and I do feel that that sentiment was true. I do believe that my club made an impact because my mission was to unite people together, community, and to make environmental education and understanding much more accessible to everyday people. I did not have to get a college degree to be an environmental educator. I just had to do the thing. My Uncle Charles did actually rehabilitate a sea turtle while he was living in Florida with his cousin Todd. This leatherback sea turtle had a cracked shell. They had to buy a large kiddie pool, bandage it up until the turtle got better. They also had the help of a conservation group there, but my uncle still took the first step, and now I get to take the first step. In our club, we did 2 cemetery cleanups at the Hillside Cemetery in Holly, and we did 1 large cleanup at the Brockport Canal on Main Street. During these cleanups, we were able to clean 300 pounds of trash. Our impact was not only seen by mere photos or videos or performative action, but it was seen in our local communities and will continue to be seen. In general, I made sure that both of my products were environmentally educational without being redundant. It is too much that we hear of the same message: recycle, reduce, reuse. Water bottles are bad. Sign this petition. Statements, but not educating and not broadening our solutions. It has always been the same messages about environmental health for years. It gets annoying. I believe that the Charles F. Chidsey Turtle Conservation Organization has become a fun way for people to come together, hang out, and clean up take responsibility for our actions, and come up with new solutions. And now for the burning question. Would I take any next steps? Absolutely. I intend on sending letters to local and state politicians and other representatives in government about eco-friendly ideas for the state, for laws, for people. One of the ideas that I had also mentioned in my capstone presentation, were turtle cams. Turtle cams would be posted on wildlife crossing signs using trained AI systems to identify turtles. One species of turtles that has the highest road mortality rate is the Blanding's turtle. So it would be trained to recognize Blanding's turtles, painted turtles, snapping turtles, and all native turtles of New York State. These cameras would also be able to identify license plates and physical descriptions of drivers. These drivers would be held responsible for the killing of these turtles, specifically Blanding's turtles, because their populations already get nerfed in like the first week of their life. Baby Blanding's turtles crossing the road. Done. I have also thought of alternative solutions to single-use products, such as things like floss, chapstick, ladies' menstrual products, the packaging for those products, to be cardboard or fabric-based. This can be recycled fabric, or it can be fabric from a natural source. There are fabrics that come from plants like silk. I was the one who designed the logo for the club, and I designed these special pins. You are getting an exclusive look before I give them to people who helped me to keep the joyous feeling of being around my uncle alive, and his dedication to community service, the environment, and his heritage. And perhaps I should give myself a pat on the back for putting in the time to keep his name alive in a positive light, while also keeping our most vital and culturally significant animals alive as well. Turtle Island is for everyone, and everyone should take care of it. Everyone can make a difference, no matter big or small. I feel that I have made a difference beyond my shell. I have expanded into horizons that I would have never expected to. If you would have told 15-year-old Bailey, who had just lost her uncle, hey, one day you're going to start a club in your uncle's name, and people are going to show up and be present, she would have never believed it. And by starting this club, I have lifted myself up, and I have become a figure of wisdom with an interesting perspective that is inspiring. Sincerely, from myself, thank you for opening this possibility up to me. And I hope to see more progress from my passion soon.